Right now on the Farm Bureau guest line, check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. Tom, what's up, my man?
Cheesecake?
That's what he says he
I
wants.
like cheesecake, Tom.
That's the pay off the bet is to get you some cheesecake?
Well, no, he already owes me a steak. Now I'm throwing dessert on top of it.
I'm digging a hole.
Yeah.
Just keep doubling down. Don't worry about it.
I've done it twice now.
Yeah, press the bet. And eventually, though, he's going to end up with the entire meal at Ruth's Chris. Or Cheesecake Factory, which, by the way, their menu is so big, it's actually slightly smaller than Jimbo's play calling sheet.
Slightly. Although the Cheesecake Factory menu is laminated. He's just got like loose leaf sheets of paper.
He's the guy. If you walk into a lawyer's office and his desk looks like that, just turn around and walk right back out.
If he lawyers the way Jimbo coaches, I agree that that's a good plan. That is a good
He's
plan.
overcharging you. That's for sure.
Hey, speaking of plans, what is your plan to stay warm in the booth in Fayetteville on Saturday night?
You know what my plan is? This is really simple. The folks at both Realtree and Banded are sending gear to us, and that's going to keep us warm. We're going with a heated vest underneath our outer garments. We might even grab some heated socks from the folks at Realtree, and they license out their print to the folks at Banded. So, like hunters out there are the warmest guys I've ever met, and I'm just going to steal all of their ideas.
All right, so are you being funny? Or are you guys are going to broadcast in camouflage this weekend?
Well, now here's the thing. I'm not sure that we're going to have the Realtree print on whatever gear we get. So I don't mean to mislead you, but we will be wearing their product to stay warm. Yeah, Lane gave us that idea today. And so I immediately got on the phone because Realtree is going to outfit a bunch of the Ole Miss coaching staff from what we're told. He may have mentioned that in his press conference today. I'm not sure. Listen, lean on the people who know how to do it because all three of us are going to be down on the field. We're going to do that again like we did during the Vandy game last year, just a different perspective and, a little bit more access because those two of the most accessible coaching staffs in college football with Ole Miss and Arkansas and see what we can learn about these teams. And by the way, as much as both teams are going to run the ball, I don't think we're going to be out there that long.
Well, there are those pesky television commercial breaks, though, which slow things down a little bit.
That's right. So, hey, listen, somebody's got to pay Colt's salary.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's right. I actually think you guys could get away with doing camouflage, though, because this is opening weekend of deer season and opening weekend of duck season in Arkansas. It's opening weekend of deer season in Mississippi. Bandit is an Arkansas company, kind of by Arkansas people, Realtree's and Ole Miss guy. I think you guys can pull this off and do, like, full-on camo.
I'm down with it. I mean, you know me. If it's free, it's for me. Whatever they send, we will promote it, and I will wear it. And I just want to be warm. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Well, you should be in good shape. What do you think about this matchup? I mean, Arkansas, not what we thought they would be, but largely not what we thought they would be because of injuries to KJ Jefferson and some bum field goal luck along the way. And then this Ole Miss team trying to bounce back from a heartbreaking loss. And I don't mean heartbreaking in the sense that fans were like, oh, my goodness, it was so close. I mean, it was one that the team really took hard.
Yeah, well, listen, the ones that hurt the most are the ones that would be most rewarding if you can pull it off. You mentioned Arkansas's luck off the upright, at the top of the upright, which I've seen a lot. I've never seen before to give A&M the win. Don't forget in that game, KJ Jefferson also reached out for the goal line and lost the ball that was returned big by A&M. That happens to be the Aggies' last win last week in September. The other thing that Arkansas is missing is Jalen Cadlon. I mean, and Lane mentioned him. He's been at the top of my list for a long time since he was a freshman. It was a COVID year. We weren't traveling much. I snuck into a Barry Odom defensive meeting, and I was just astonished that this freshman safety was leading the meeting. And I'm not talking about, he was called to the blackboard and was trying to fake his way through some answers. He was leading the defensive backs meeting as part of what they're doing defensively, and I was so impressed by him. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy, and that's a huge loss for what they want to do. Their defense is just kind of heckle jekyll. They've been torn up by the pass this year. They're okay against the run. And, what they did against LSU was that because they're good against the run? Was LSU having an off day? Did the cold weather bother LSU, which I think is very realistic and probably got them off the game a little bit? So I'm mainly curious what they look like defensively because they've shown glimpses of being elite, and then other times it's hard to figure out kind of what their goal is and what they're trying to accomplish. And then the second part, not to ramble, but the second part is, is KJ Jefferson healthy? Will we see him on the field? How many snaps would he be good for? That is just such a huge miss for this Arkansas team to be missing him for so much of the year.
You mentioned the weather a second ago. We were obviously joking about it with the camouflage and you guys being on the field, but and maybe this is just a figment of my imagination. It seems like 22 degrees would be even harder on a clavicle injury than if it was like 78 and sunny. Is that a crazy thought?
No, I think that's accurate, and I think an injury like that is one where, as a player, you have to have confidence that your body is going to hold up, and you have to have confidence it's going to hold up when you take a hit. And if you're a runner, especially a running quarterback or a running back, you've got to have confidence you can lower your shoulder and deliver hits. And, I think it's a little bit different. Everyone talks about, pitchers talk about coming back from Tommy John in the first time as they build up to really test it. And that's a stress. And other people talk about the first cut when they go full speed coming back on an ACL. I would think a clavicle as a football player that absorbs and gives hits would be even more of a test than both of those injuries, if that's possible.
Based on what you saw last week from LSU, if for some reason KJ Jefferson does not play, do you think Arkansas would go with Cade Fortin again, or do you think that it would be a Malik Hornsby kind of mix of those two guys?
I think it's probably a mix. I mean, for whatever reason, and we'll meet with their staff on Friday, that's what they feel gives them the best chance. Kendall Briles comes from the tree that will spread you out, get you outside the numbers. Obviously, Lane's been influenced by that with his time having Levy on the staff and even before that. So, you never know a game plan to game plan who is the best fit based on what these quarterbacks do. And from our perspective, and Richard, you know this, I'm looking forward to learning exactly what the weaknesses are for each guy, because that can tell you where they're best used. And sometimes, what we perceive as weaknesses on game day are not the same that they show or get exposed to during the course of a week long of practice.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for Arkansas. Hey, where's your go-to spot to eat in Fayetteville?
Well, there's a couple. There's I forget the name of it, but there is a spot, and this will be perfect for cold weather, right down off Dixon. That is a grilled cheese sandwich restaurant. So they specialize in grilled cheese, and you can get them all sorts of different styles. You can get them, listen, that and a cup of tomato soup, a bowl of tomato soup on a cold day. Whew, man, that's what I'm looking for. And then I was lying when I said I got a bunch. Theo's on Friday night that's my steak spot.
That's kind of your go-to.
Yeah, I'm a basic. I am really. I'm like the teenage girl who gets the same latte every time. Actually, I get the latte every time. Like you give me red meat and red wine, anything red, anything that will help me chase gout. That's where I'll be on Friday night.
That's beautiful. Thanks for your time this afternoon. We will be watching. I'll be watching from Raleigh, sitting in a hotel room. So I look forward to being entertained.
We could see you. That hotel, do yourself a favor. Leave the window open and set the thermostat on about 28 so you get real feel temperature in the room.
It will be as if I was there. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah. All right, fellas. Be good.
Tom Hart from